There are many stigmas around mental illness and chronic illness that are still pervading in society and leading many of us to believe that we can't achieve success in life. But this poses the question, what does it really mean to achieve success?
An idea
can escape.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Hello, Becca here from ALifeLearned, and today I wanted to discuss how difficult it can be to attain success when having to deal with mental illness and chronic illness. But at the same time, I wanted to note that that doesn't mean it's impossible just because it is more difficult. With a lot of the stigma that does still pervade in society in its little and big ways in different places, a lot of us are led to believe that we can't attain our own version of success in our life because we're so held back by these mental health issues or these physical health issues. And when you're comparing yourself to all these people who are telling you this, I mean, that perspective makes sense, but that's the main thing here, is you should not be comparing yourself to other people or to anyone who doesn't have that illness, or to anyone at all for that matter, because we are all unique and we all have our own unique weaknesses and unique needs and unique things that we need to accommodate for in order to move forward and attain our goals. But they can be attainable and we can be happy and successful in life. Of course, the implication illness does imply that we are at a disadvantage, and that does mean we have to take things at a different pace, but this doesn't mean we can't achieve success in life. To everyone, success is generally a different thing because it means attaining happiness and general content in life, and we all feel different about what happiness means to us. But overall, it does basically mean having a comfortable roof over your head, food in your stomach, and things to entertain your brain, new ideas and new activities that keep you content depending on your preferences. And when dealing with a mental illness, this can be incredibly difficult because you're constantly battling your brain in some way while also trying to live life and attain these goals. But this doesn't make it unattainable. It just means that we need to learn to take things at a different pace and not compare ourselves to the people around us. And the same goes for chronic illness for that matter. I'm a person with PTSD and hence speaking for the mental illness side, and I also have fibromyalgia. So speaking for the chronic illness and chronic pain side of things, it can be very hindering to wake up in pain every single day. I honestly wake up and my first thought is, I hate my life, because of the trauma that I have and I'm dealing with, as well as the pain that I wake up to every single morning. It makes it very difficult to sleep. But I've really come to learn that with my chronic illness and my mental illness, if I take things at my own pace while not letting myself also stagnate, I can still accomplish things. The main thing is setting reasonable goals for myself that I can actually attain, and also doing it in a step-by-step process. So I have small goals, daily goals, weekly goals, and as well as monthly goals. And I also try to accept when I can't reach those goals, when something very reasonable has gotten in the way, such as a pain attack that I didn't expect, or a trigger that I didn't expect. When you can't always expect what's going to happen in terms of chronic illness and mental illness, you can't hold it against yourself, because that means you're judging yourself and just holding yourself back more. And a very helpful tool I have mentioned before for mental health issues, and I think as well for chronic pain issues it would be good, is mindfulness and grounding techniques. And this basically just takes you out of the terrible moment that you're in terms of a mental health trigger or an emotional upset, whether it be up or down, depression or a hyperarousal. You try to ground yourself back into the current moment. There's a lot that is involved in this. It's simple and yet at the same time incredibly difficult to accomplish. But if you Google mindfulness and you look it up on YouTube, there's some great videos about it that describe it in full, and it's a really good activity to try and keep in mind when dealing with these conditions, because if you can practice mindfulness and grounding, then you can really get a better grasp on what you're going through each day, and thus slowly work towards your goals and feel successful in life. This can of course be less applicable to chronic pain issues and illness issues more related to physical pain, because sometimes you just can't get it out of your brain how much pain you're in, and in that case of course medication is something to definitely consider. But at the same time, it is helpful because it can be very emotionally dysregulating to be in so much pain. So definitely something to look up and consider. Lately, I've actually had to realize this a lot myself, because I've had a rather large increase in the pace that people are interacting with my channel, and I've really wanted to keep up with it because I want to support people and I want to share information and put out interesting videos, but it's so demanding to write those scripts and to get them out of my mouth because I can't seem to say things sometimes, and then to edit it all and make it interesting with different little, images and videos and stuff like that. I want you guys to be entertained while learning because it just makes it more interesting, and then you kind of retain it more. But that's just very demanding on me, and when I'm also trying to work on my personal therapy, and I know that I have my court trial coming up in the future, it's actually had me with a few mental breakdowns over the last few weeks. I've been having some pretty big crying fits, we'll say that, but at the same time I practice my grounding, I practice my mindfulness, and I remind myself that I'm not anyone else, I'm me. I'm going through a lot, but I'm also slowly attaining the goals that I'm setting, just at my own pace, and I'm trying to continue to remember that we all have our own paces, and it's okay to go at your own pace. You set what is success in your life. You decide what that is. But ultimately, it is achieving happiness, and you can do that. You just have to be realistic about your goals and try to always work on your mental health and your physical health, while at the same time just being forgiving of yourself. Because, of course, it is hard to deal with the stigma and everyone else not understanding, but it's just that much harder when you are also not understanding yourself or forgiving yourself. You need you before you need everyone else. So try to forgive yourself, try to set reasonable goals, and realize that success is definitely possible within mental illness and within physical illness. It just takes some accommodation. And definitely, if you can, surround yourself with supportive people who are more understanding of the fact that you can be a successful person, you just need a little bit of help and accommodation. And please feel free to comment below about any issues you might have had with achieving success and how you feel you have despite having a type of illness, or how you might suggest that other people try to get through some of the barriers that they're working through in terms of mental illness or physical illness. Also, check out in the description, I've left some links about other mental health success cases of people who have dealt with mental illness but feel that they've gotten to a successful point in their life because they've set reasonable goals and slowly worked towards them at their own pace. And feel free to message me if you'd like some support in regard to these issues as well. That's definitely a big part of my channel, is trying to provide support for these issues. So feel free to message me, and as always, please join me again next week where I try again to share a little something I've learned in life.